blog a des rebootés de 204. Alors. Good morning from Singapore. Today, we've got two big things on. One, we're going to go check out batik, a method for making Indonesian prints on fabric. And two, TCM. I don't know what it said TCM. We're going to find out. How many bananas did you eat today, Bulat? 0. Oh. Go straight for a bit. Oh. Sorry.
I'm not awake yet, so.
No, neither am I. I was going to ask you a question on camera, but I'll wait. Pearl and I were just talking about how not awake we are, actually. And I just chugged a coffee, but we're going to go get tea to add on to that. It's been a very full trip. It's been very, very fun. I'm going to sleep for about 3 years when I go home. And it's been worth it. Is this it?
Yeah, look at the mural.
So this is what makes this tea place famous?
So they do the saffron teh tarik that's excellent.
What's a teh tarik?
Teh tarik means pulled tea. And we do
Okay.
that at the hood.
Yeah.
Right? But we use oat milk, and this is the correct version.
The correct version.
But they're both equally good. I was back here in 23 looking for a spot for Nonette
Yeah.
in Singapore.
Uh-huh.
And I took my granny here.
Uh-huh.
Because she used to have a shop house around, well, not too far from Arab Street. And she said, why don't you just set up next door, like here, this is where the green mural
That's
is.
so cool.
Yeah, and then she passed away 3 months after. That was the last time I saw her.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, so this mural means a lot to you.
Yeah.
So Pearl has run the hood for 10 years, and she, in the same way that I've been vlogging for 10 years in my weird pursuit of, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Pearl's been doing a lot more than just a restaurant, right? Like, I think the hood, what's been really cool to see about it. And honestly, I think the most impactful part of the trip has probably been seeing the impact that you've had on your community too, because like the sheer volume of people that we've met on this trip were super interesting and have just come out of the woodwork to like hang out with us or open their shop on the day that it's closed, or to share their stories, or to try to take us to a helipad. So many of those people came about through relationships that she generated just by opening the hood and acting as a bridge between worlds, which is really, really cool. It's been really fun to see that on this side of things, I think, because often it's easy to just think of it as a restaurant and you go and there's always somebody interesting hanging around, and you know, the food is really good and the vibes are nice, etc. But like then you see like the impact of a decade of investing in your community, because so many people, just like literally every dinner we go to has like 10 more people than was expected.
That's true.
And it's because everybody just wants to connect because they know that Pearl brings good people together. So it's been really, really fun. Also, don't jaywalk in Singapore, because apparently they'll just run you over. All right, so one big recommendation would have to be the kaya toast. We've been talking about it. Non-stop. I just sent a photo to my sister because it reminded me of like the cinnamon sugar butter toast that we would make when we were kids, but like way better. The flavor is nicer. I love cinnamon, but like this is a little bit of a subtler flavor. Yeah, it's pandan. It's always about the pandan. I need to like get a pandan plant or something because I'm addicted. But all that long-winded way of saying thanks for bringing me to Singapore.
Oh, yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
Oh my God, if you go to Singapore, you have to go with Pearl, which I don't think you're gonna get to, so sorry. But of course, I'm gonna put all the places that we've been on my Mapster for my patrons. So if you guys do come, you're gonna know exactly where we went. And obviously you'll be able to track it if you watch all the videos.
The cloth that is ready, right? These are just samples of cloth that's ready. This is when the final product is done. So every bit that's white has been covered by wax. The technique is called batik. So batik is a technique that involves wax resist dye.
Yeah.
So if you look at this big piece of cloth, it's 2.4 meters. That's a typical length of cloth that goes through the batik process. And if you look at the parts here, come and touch it. You've got to feel this.
Oh wow! So this is the wax.
Yeah. So that gets applied using chantings, which is the pens. The wax goes in this big hole here and comes out through this nib, and you imagine going through that for 2.4 meters.
Yes.
And there are different nibs, so if you take a look at the nibs, there are the thicker ones and the thinner ones. So you can imagine the thinner ones are far more intricate. They produce the smaller dots, whereas the larger ones can cover a relatively larger surface area.
Yes.
So this is before any dye has gone in. So what starts as a piece of cloth with pencil drawings will then become this. So that's my teaching kit.
Yeah.
That kind of shows you the process in the various. And it's all, done by a human being and not a machine. The other method of applying the wax is using chalk, which is a copper stamp.
Okay.
This is just one that bears the brand. When we want to work with artisans and that pattern is ours, we use this. But typically it's a large copper block and it has repeated or geometric patterns. So something like that behind you is stamped. Can you see that? Because it's so predictable.
And it keeps it consistent as
Yes,
well.
it's
And it
predictable,
saves your
it's
wrist.
geometric, yeah, it's boring. But if you see the intricate ones, these are hand-drawn. So the next step for this would be coloring. Once your wax is set in, and that's when it's colored. Because this then goes through various other steps to lock in the color.
So then this texturing is a result of
the cracking is as a
in
result
the
of
wax.
the technique. Some batiks don't have crackles like this.
But do you have to do each color individually?
Yes.
Or so then you're waxing the whole thing.
Yes,
Wow.
again and again and again.
It looks good. Yeah. Okay, I'll take a few, okay? 1, 2.
To come back.
There's just too much. There's like too much to see, too much to eat, so many things to do that we haven't gotten to do. Like we have to come back. This has been amazing. What is a TCM?
Traditional Chinese mats.
Okay, so what are we getting ourselves into, or do I need to just find out?
Normally, a consultation about your body constitution.
Okay.
So whether you're hot or cold,
Yeah.
and then they will prescribe certain mats
Okay.
that would be to help balance the heat and the cold in your body.
Okay.
But you're also going to a contemporary clinic, not the traditional Chinese clinics that you would find.
So it's a CTCM.
CTCM. Oh, that's a good one. I love all the stuff that you're coming up with. And Beatrice is a friend from school, so she's started Oriental Remedies because of her mom who got sick.
Oh no.
She was trying to look for ways to cure her because the traditional Western treatments were not working.
Yeah.
And I think what I've gotten to learn about TCM through her and a couple of other friends is that TCM techniques are, it's ancient, right? It's thousands of years old.
Yeah, and
knowledge.
so it's a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, its goal is to preempt rather than to cure.
Yeah.
Today you're going to find out your body makeup. You're even going to have a look at your chakras to see what's being activated over the last 1 week.
My chakras are going to be all messed up. I can tell you that much right now. This has been quite a week. That was super interesting. It definitely was contemporary, right? And they actually had a machine in there that they used as an alternative to acupuncture or cupping to help to drain your lymph system. And he gave us an example by doing it on my shoulder and my arm, which was very nice. And I do feel lighter there. But between the readings that they did with a couple of machines to check and see, I don't even know what just happened. I can't explain the science behind it. There was like a Korean machine they put on our finger, and then we had to insert our fingers into this Russian-made machine, and it gave us a reading into basically how active the different systems in our bodies were, and it seemed to be very insightful. I got to see Lindsay's, and then I did mine, and it picked up on some stuff that like my kidneys maybe need a little bit of love, which is very true from stress. But at the same time, she's like really managing the stress very well. Like your other systems, there's a lot of green across the board, which is really, really good. And then the physician went straight for the same thing that she did. He just read my pulse, looked at my tongue, and asked me like, do you get hungry easily? And then proceeded to say like I have a fire in my belly, is the way he put it. But he said that the issue is if your gut biome isn't able to properly digest everything and let it pass through, that you're not going to get the nutrients and the energy that you need from it. And so both of them told me the things I need are pre and probiotics independently, which I thought was super interesting. And then we were all touching base and like comparing notes afterwards. And all of us kind of feel like we got the advice we needed. And it's all very different from each other. And especially sitting there and listening to the like Lindsay's side, because I know her so well, I was like, yep, this all really seems to match up very well. So it was a very, very interesting experience. CTCM, definitely a thing I would like to look into a little bit more. Give it a try when I come back to Singapore. I hope that they'll let me come back. Thanks, by the way, to William LaRue and all my patrons who, how do I get out of here? Make this possible? I'm lost in... That is not where I came from. Oh, this way. Thanks, patrons! I need a shirt. I'm like, it's the one thing that I'm out of right now, and I don't think we're gonna have time to go to a laundromat, so Need to hit that up. And then we have a flight to catch tomorrow. Success! I'm also completely out of socks after today. I totally thought we'd have time to do laundry, so thankfully I brought enough of everything except socks to make it through. And shirts. I wore this shirt twice, but I smell good. Cheers.
Getting a post-production blues.
Oh, had such a good time.